Andy Cohen confronts Lisa Rinna about trashing RHOBH. Andy Cohen had an awkward interaction with Lisa Rinna over her shady comments about the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. The Bravo head honcho was less than thrilled with the former soap star over something she said on a recent podcast. When she visited the set of his Sirius show, Andy quickly addressed the elephant in the room. This isn't the first time Lisa has made a shady comment about the franchise. In 2023, after announcing her exit, she told Interview magazine that she hated her final season and hinted that she got an unfair edit from the production team. Lisa has seen a resurgence in her career since leaving RHOBH, finding her stride as a fashion model, even signing with an agency in 2024. It seemed she had moved on from the Bravo series and put all that drama behind her. However, she recently slammed the show and compared RHOBH to the Titanic. Andy Cohen confronts RHOBH alum Lisa Rinna. Lisa appeared as a guest on Radio Andy, where he expressed discontent regarding her RHOBH comment. "Why are you saying that the show is the Titanic?" said Andy. "You're on a podcast last week, you mouth off." "Hello, have you met me?" Lisa interjected. Andy said he thought she had moved on from the show and expressed surprise at the hurtful comment. "I'm sorry I hurt your feelings," said Lisa, sharing that she also spoke to her friend, RHOBH star Erika Jayne, about the situation. The brunette beauty reasoned that Erika did not admit to being hurt by the comment, but she apologized to the Pretty Mess singer anyway. "Your friend is still on the show, so it's not just about me," continued Andy. "I said I was sorry," responded Lisa. "You know, I put my foot in my mouth." Lisa's non-apology to Andy falls flat. Lisa was squirming in her seat as Andy continued to address the situation. At one point, the 60-year-old changed her tune, exclaiming, "That show's going to go on and on and on." However, when Andy continued to grill her, she switched things up again and doubled down on her previous comment. "I meant to say Titanic and I said it, and I'm sorry I hurt your feelings. Let's move on," she said to Andy, who also noted that RHOBH was having one of their best seasons. As for Lisa's apology, he wasn't exactly buying it. "I mean, you're not a housewife anymore, but that was a little bit of an old-school housewife apology," said Andy. "It was a non-apology apology." The air in the Bravo clubhouse was thick with tension, the kind that even the most seasoned housewives would struggle to slice through. Andy Cohen leaned forward in his chair, cards in hand, his signature smirk replaced with something a little more pointed. Across from him, Lisa Rinna sat perched on the edge of the couch, a well-practiced smile frozen on her face, her lips pursed as if to hold back an entire flood of opinions. The Watch What Happens live set, usually a place of light-hearted gossip and cheeky games, had turned into an interrogation room. "So Lisa," Andy began, tilting his head ever so slightly, "you've had a lot to say about the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills since leaving the show." Lisa let out a breathy laugh, the kind meant to diffuse tension but instead only made it more apparent. "Oh, Andy, you know I always speak my truth." "Right. And that truth has included calling the show toxic, phony, and let me see if I have this right." He glanced down at his cards. "A disaster in the making." Lisa crossed her legs, smoothing out an invisible wrinkle in her dress. "Well, am I wrong?" Andy raised his eyebrows. "I mean, I think a lot of people, especially the fans, would say you were a huge part of what made the show what it was." Lisa's eyes twinkled, a flicker of mischief crossing her face. "That's what makes it so interesting, don't you think? When I was on, I was the villain, the troublemaker, the one who stirred the pot. But now that I'm gone, suddenly the show's missing something." "Sounds like a you problem, Andy." Andy chuckled dryly. "Oh, come on, Lisa. You can't seriously be acting like you were some kind of victim here. You leaned into it, hard." Lisa shrugged. "I did what I had to do. But you and I both know, this isn't just a reality show. It's a machine, and that machine needs drama to keep going." Andy nodded. "Sure. But let's talk about your recent interviews. You said the producers manipulate storylines and set people up." Lisa didn't blink. "They do." And you didn't mind when you were the one benefiting from it. Lisa leaned in, her voice lowering just enough to create a sense of exclusivity. Oh, honey, I always minded. The difference is, I played the game better than most. And now that I'm out, I can call it like I see it. Andy sighed, flipping through his cards. Lisa, you know I love you. You were incredible for this franchise. But don't you think it's a little hypocritical to trash the show that made you a household name? Lisa smirked. Sweetie, let's not rewrite history. I was Lisa Rinna before RHOBH, and I'll be Lisa Rinna long after. I didn't need this show. It needed me. Andy gave her a knowing look. So then why keep talking about it? Lisa's expression faltered for half a second before she recovered. Because it's fascinating. The machine keeps running, but the cracks are showing. I can't help but comment on it. Andy folded his hands. You don't think that makes you look bitter? Lisa laughed, shaking her head. I think it makes me honest. Andy studied her for a moment. You also said something interesting the other day, that the show has become fake beyond belief. What exactly did you mean by that? Lisa exhaled dramatically. Oh, Andy, you know exactly what I mean. People come in with pre-planned storylines. They refuse to show the real dirt. Everything is so carefully curated now. It's lost that raw energy. And yet, weren't you accused of doing the same thing? Creating drama just for the cameras. Lisa threw up her hands. I never faked anything, Andy. I may have stirred the pot, but it was always rooted in something real. Andy arched an eyebrow. So all those moments, bringing up Kim Richards' sobriety, pushing Kathy Hilton's alleged meltdown, your ongoing issues with Sutton, those were all real. Lisa's jaw tightened, but she forced another smile. Real to me. And that's what makes good TV. You can hate me for it, but you watched, didn't you? Andy smirked. Oh, I watched. And so did millions of others. But don't you think that kind of approach is why people have been so critical of you lately? Lisa rolled her eyes. People are always going to have opinions. But let's be honest, Andy, this show lost its edge. It got too careful too, predictable. Andy leaned back. So what will you do to fix it? Lisa's face lit up, as if she had been waiting for this exact question. I'd strip it down. Make it raw again. Force people to show their real lives, not the version they think the audience wants to see. And frankly, I'd cast people who aren't terrified of pissing off a certain fan base. Andy chuckled. You mean Lisa Vanderpump's fan base? Lisa let out a fake gasp. Did you say that? I didn't say that. Andy shook his head with a grin. Lisa, you never change. Lisa smirked. And that's why you keep inviting me back. Andy sighed, setting his cards aside. Well, love you or hate you, you certainly make things interesting. Lisa leaned back, victorious. And that, my dear, is exactly the point. The conversation had gone in circles, as all good housewives' confrontations did. But one thing was clear. Lisa Rinna wasn't going to stop talking about RHOBH anytime soon. And Andy Cohen. He wasn't going to stop asking the tough questions. Because at the end of the day, whether they loved her or loathed her, Lisa Rinna still had the fans watching.